We messed up the timing last week.
Well, that's because we both thought. I don't know if people can hear us, but
I think they can. Hi.
I don't know. See, it's like going live. Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J Dawg.
Mike, it's good to see you. Anything going on in the stock market world that we love to be in?
It's literally the biggest story ever that ever happened to, like, if you've ever wanted to invest in anything, GameStop, AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, these things of like past generations. Reddit has, obviously everybody knows the story, but Reddit has basically taken over stock trading and the internet, and it's absolutely insane. And
it's amazing. You've been hearing about GameStop, and you're right. It's all these brands that were like dominant in the early 2000s that have no reason to be owned 20 years later. And they're brands that, like, the stock market's had a great run during COVID because it's like everything changed and technology is growing. And these stocks are not the ones that are doing well, like GameStop, AMC Theaters, BlackBerry. Those are not the ones doing well during COVID, but that's the stocks that these average Joes are pumping money in. And they're screwing the richest guys. So for the most part, you got to love it, right?
I absolutely love it. I joined all the Discords, all the Reddit boards. I weirdly actually owned AMC stock before all this happened. So I'm very happy at this point. But
wait, you were a holder of AMC movie theaters, like thinking like movie theaters were going to come back?
So I bought it when it crashed, when it like went to $2, and I just bought a whole bunch of shares. I'm like, when this is over, this will be worth something. And I'm going to hold it for the long term. So I bought it. Literally $2. It went all the way up to $20 yesterday. But the biggest issue here is now that Wall Street went after Reddit and went after all these other little people, and they actually stopped trading today.
Even Robinhood, which is like the app that like everyone in our generation and younger has been using to day trade. Like I use Fidelity because I'm a professional. But a lot of people are using Robinhood, and it's so easy. Download the app. By the way, free plug for them. If you download the app, you get a free stock. It could be something great. It could be something very tiny.
Let a friend invite you. Let a friend invite you so they get a free stock and you get a free stock.
Exactly. It's a great thing. So it's just this crazy situation. I'm glad that you own AMC because none of my stocks are benefiting so far, which maybe means I'm a good investor because like I wasn't in GameStop before, which is probably a good thing.
Probably, but if you were, you would have a lot of money right now because GameStop literally went from like $13 to almost $400.
It was over $500 in after hours trading, and it went back down today. So finally, when they were banned on Robinhood, when like the Wall Street Bets Reddit was shut down, when the Discord was shut down, it was like they didn't have any way to keep buying it up, and that's why I think the stock went down today. And by the way, it's these hedge funds. The richest men in the world are just getting gouged. And this show is not where we're going to explain how to short a stock because I'll probably explain it poorly. I don't know if you know exactly what it means. I know kind of what it means.
I know kind
People
of. People
don't care. Yeah. But basically, the hedge funds are betting on the stocks to go lower, and they were supposed to go lower because they're not good investments right now. And instead, they went higher. We saw it over the summer with like Hertz Rent-A-Car, if you remember that.
Yeah, where they pumped it up a little. This is kind of common in like, you know, with Dogecoin, which is actually pumping today, which luckily I also
think it's on the list for tomorrow. Yeah.
So, but this isn't over yet because now this is war. This is Reddit versus Wall Street bros, and Reddit's going to win because obviously that quote you saw the other day, it's like, we'll stay dumb until you guys can last being solvent or something. It's like the people on Reddit are not giving up. And tomorrow, all the short calls I think are expiring. So they're going to pump the shit out of the stocks tomorrow. So
you think it continues, like GameStop, AMC continue? Because they both fell a lot today, and I didn't know if it was like
GameStop's probably going to go to $1,000. AMC maybe $50.
Really, GameStop's going to be $1,000. Right now it's under 300. So there's an opportunity there if that's a fact.
It's definitely not done.
We don't give trading advice. It's not 100%. No. You know how Mike's bets. You know how Mike's bets go. Don't listen.
All I'm saying is, I think what's happening right now is that we're looking at it the wrong way, and it's the people on Wall Street that are controlling it all, and it's insane that not Reddit is getting in trouble or Wall Street Bets is getting in trouble because we all group together, even though all the brokerage firms, they always, let's do a little of this or we'll do a little of that. Let's pump it up here because they have a lot of money. But now this group of people on Wall Street, they can't do it. And I think that's the bigger issue. And obviously something's going to change because
I think it's a physical and social manifestation of the wealth gap in America. And it's these rich people. The top 1% controls 99% of the assets, and the other 99% of people control 1% of the assets. And it's kind of like the Capitol mob in a non-violent way, where everyone kind of rallied together online and said, let's do something about it. And whether you think it's right or wrong, they did, and they succeeded. Because now, again, people are gathering online. That's another byproduct of this, Mike. Like, people are getting so strong and like convincing other people to join, because you need numbers, right? It's not going to be 10 people or 20 people. You need hundreds, thousands. They might have millions of people doing this with the stocks, and that's how they're going to beat the hedge funds.
And it went from a little like just around 2 million to over like 3.5 million people in the subreddit that joined. The Discord keeps getting shut off, but people are pumping up the stock. It's not going to stop anytime soon. So they're going after it. Nokia, even Tootsie Roll went up today. The Tootsie Roll stock shot up. Didn't even. You
just make a checklist of things from like when you were 12 years old that were cool, and that's what you should be putting money in right now.
And if you're gaining money, I would just I don't know. It's a very interesting world right now. So just be safe.
I've talked about it. Yeah, be safe. Don't bet what you can't lose is what they say. So I'm not getting involved in this. I think I missed the initial boat on GameStop and AMC, and I'm like making money to the side. Like, I'm day trading and slinging other things, and the market itself is super healthy, except for the day this all happened and it tanked everything else around with it, because the hedge funds had to sell their good stocks to cover their losses on the bad stocks. Too much information. The market, if that can just continue going, I'll be okay. I don't need this craziness to happen, but the craziness is fun to watch if it's taking down some of the rich people.
Yeah, you should jump into like AMC or Nokia or something just for fun, just to be like part of the crew. You got to be in.
Just for the story, because it's going to be an epic movie. It's going to be an epic story to tell. And these Wall Street guys that have been around 30, 40 years, they've never seen anything like it. Like The Big Short has nothing on this. This is crazy. One of the things I thought was funny is AMC movie theaters is part of this. AMC Networks, which is like another dying brand because it's a cable network, was up 20% yesterday of people confused the wrong AMC. So like, even if your name is slightly like it, like we saw that with Zoom at one point, where like Zoom, the non-video Zoom, was like benefiting in the run up during COVID. So even if your name's similar, I think you'll benefit.
Yeah. I love it so much. I've been following it pretty closely, seeing all the tweets. Elon Musk is in it. Dave Portnoy, everybody's complaining about it. Yeah. And I love it. I think it's a good change if anything does happen from it. But Robinhood kind of screwed it today because they blocked all trading. And a lot of platforms all blocked trading on AMC and BlackBerry and all that stuff. Yeah,
Portnoy is the man of the people. At every turn, he's just helping out the small guy, and he's going to be like running for president. I saw he's added 250 to 1 on some sites as next presidential candidate. So
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
All right, let's get to the Super Bowl. One of the things I really enjoy about the Super Bowl matchup, and there's a lot of things to pick from, Mike, is that Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are in the Super Bowl, and Ben Roethlisberger and all of his Steeler teammates are not. So who won, really, in that situation?
Well, I mean, did Le'Veon Bell even play a snap this
season? No, he
season?
was hurt. Yes, he played this season. He didn't play in the AFC Championship game. They were lucky to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire back.
And Antonio Brown didn't play in the NFC Championship game.
He should be back for the Super Bowl, right?
I thought out for the year.
I don't know.
I thought it was like a knee issue. He's out. I listen, I love the story too. I love that they're gone. The Steelers they got to find somebody to replace Big Ben at some point, right? Like, he can't be there another year, can he?
Well, we're going to talk about quarterbacks on the move, a little teaser, but Ben is on the list. So we'll get to that in a second. But I just love how like everyone's blaming Bell and Brown. And yeah, they both got crazy when they left town. Maybe Pittsburgh makes you crazy. Maybe you become better and more well-behaved after you leave Pittsburgh.
Oh, I like that. I like that theory. We'll have to ask our big Steelers friends if that's a true fact.
If they ever clear COVID, you'll be able to ask.
Yeah, we'll see. One day I'll see them. There's a whole bunch of like random news I want to talk about. WWE moving over to NBC Peacock, or just NBC like all together. Are they moving the Peacock? I want to know.
Yeah, it's all on Peacock. It seems like a good deal for them. It seems like a pretty exclusive deal. From what I hear, Mike, wrestling fans, I don't know if this is you included, they're very passionate about wrestling. And one is they watch a lot of the classic stuff because that's when wrestling was good. And two, they watched WrestleMania, which apparently will be on Peacock now.
So it's not going to be like a pay-per-view because they used to pay-per-view it. The weird thing to me is that when you see these new networks, they go out and buy content. They go buy exclusive rights to certain things. Like Netflix did it, like, we're going to get The Office. We're going to get all this. Sometimes I wonder what the play is. Like, is there really a large fan base? Because I think there was only, how many people were like subscribing to the WWE network? Like, we could say 1 million, maybe something. I don't know what it was. but it's weird how they bring it over. So I just wonder what the play is. Like, it's just like stacking up like, oh yeah, we have all this, and it's just to say we have all this. And it's also they're getting rid of NBC Sports and then moving it over to NBC Peacock as well, right?
Well, I don't know that we need to get into all the details of what's going on, Mike.
No,
I just know that the wrestling fan base is very passionate. I think it's a great deal for Peacock, and I think everyone's
I think it's a good move
Peacock for years and years to come.
I think it's a good move, but I'm curious the idea of they're consolidating, and now we're saying, okay, it's on Peacock. And the move then is like, well, we're becoming cable, but just on a streaming platform, which they're all doing. So it's just, to me, that's the interesting move by it, because is it going to hurt some of the people that originally wanted to watch it on regular TV? Because they're moving so quick. And I know COVID moved a lot of stuff a lot quicker. And if this is the move, and obviously, NBC Sports are going to still air on USA and all that other stuff. But I just think it's an interesting move. Sometimes because I feel like they're moving fast.
Yeah, I think, like you said, everything is accelerated during the last 10 months, and all technology is moving a lot quicker. When you look at e-commerce like Amazon or streaming or any technology business, it's moving so fast, and it just makes sense. I think if you want to watch things on cable, there'll be the option, whether it's NBC or USA Network. And in the long run, I think everyone's going to be streaming. If they're not already, even the old geezers like our parents will be streaming soon enough. Now, if you have the Xfinity remote, it's great because you just talk into it. So I know you don't have Comcast cable, but a lot of people do, Mike, and then it helps the old people tremendously. They don't need to navigate different apps. They just say Peacock, or they say wrestling on Peacock, and it goes right to it. So that's a pretty cool innovation for them.
Yeah, it's all like being integrated. Like, I just got a new TV, smart TV, has all the apps. All you have to do is like talk to it, and it will just take you to wherever you want to go. So
exciting time for streaming. We've been streaming for 10 years. I don't know what everyone was waiting for.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody was waiting for either. We're literally doing the same thing we've been doing for 10 years. Finally, technology caught up. We can do it a little easier now, because this used to be like post-editing, putting stuff on. Now it's just all live, which is great. I love it. We're here. We're in the future, now. Jeremy.
We're in it. Well, I don't know what we're in. The last 10 months are like, you can't process it because we're still in it. But every day, now it's like the GameStop stuff. And every day it's like something else. It's like we're still in this moment. It's hard to process that we're all living through it. And like in 10 years, you'll be like, I can't believe I lived through it. And we're still in it. Like, I hope everyone's aware of that meta situation that we're in.
Do you think it's like slightly calmer without Trump in office, but there's still a lot of crazy shit going on? Like, we got the vaccine rolling out. People are messing that up. We have this Reddit Wall Street thing going on. There's like all this crazy shit. And it's weird how we're kind of like, oh yeah, this is like, Trump almost made us like our tolerance level so high that, now like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? Yeah, like they're taking over Wall Street. Like, yeah, no big deal. Like, oh, they're rioting the Capitol. Oh, okay. It's just like weird. We're just like okay with it now.
We got okay with the chaos, and thankfully he's gone. I feel like things have already calmed down since. Biden's trying to get these vaccines in our arms. We can go to France this summer. That's our goal for everyone who listens to the podcast. Gets a trip to France. So yeah, it's going. Just everyone's coming to see you. So I think things calmer, things are looking better. The vaccine will be big. Hopefully it keeps rolling out. My parents got the vaccine here in Florida, so that's a big deal.
My dad's still unsure if it's safe. He's wanting to wait for people to go get it first.
You're tipping his politics on a podcast.
It's listen, it's very weird. Everybody should just go get the vaccine. I think everybody will be fine.
Let's get this over with. Want to live our lives.
What do you got?
Let's do bullshit or believe.
All right. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe.
All right, Mike. Adam Schefter says over under there will be 18 starting quarterbacks changing teams this season. His over under is 18, and get this, he said he's taking the over, which is shocking because if there are more than 18, that means there'll be less than 14 of the same starting quarterbacks from this past year starting next year. So there's a few that I want to run down and just see, one, are they moving, and two, where are they going? Are you ready for this? I like it. So bullshit or believe, Deshaun Watson, is he going or not going?
Well, I think right before the show, he officially announced he wants to be traded.
Yeah.
So I feel like he really weirdly wants to go to the Jets. I don't like the move. I don't know why he wants to go to the Jets.
I saw Chris Mortensen said no Jets.
So, maybe I'm wrong. I thought he saw the Jets, but what other places did you see? Because I don't feel like any of them are like that great. Like, I mean, obviously anything could be better than Houston.
Well, we said that we don't think the Dolphins make sense because Tua is a guy, and all the offensive coaching staff hires this offseason have been for Tua. So I think we're going to keep
Miami
it. Miami
makes sense for sure.
It makes some sense. I don't want to give up that much. I love Watson. I don't want to give up that much.
Right,
I have a team, and it's a team, Mike, and I think Schefter's saying something here. When he says 18 quarterbacks are moving, there's going to be some surprises. Definitely some surprises. And one surprise is going to be Jared Goff. And I don't know if he's going to go to the Texans or go somewhere else. We talked about it recently, but the Rams are throwing Jared Goff under the bus every chance they get. Every press conference they have since the last game of the season, the loss to the Packers, they're saying, we don't know who our quarterback is. Jared Goff can compete. We don't have a long-term plan at the position. Meanwhile, he's signed for 4 more years at like a massive extension. So I don't know how they're going to get off the books for that. I think the cap hit is $60 million if they release him. So I don't think they can do that.
Did you see the Ramsey tweet where he's like, oh, why he wanted Deshaun Watson? He like commented on one of his tweets like, oh yeah, come over to LA.
I love to hear that. And that's where I'm heading. I think Watson ends up on the Rams. I don't know how. I don't know how they have the ammunition. They're going to have to give up like Cam Akers and some good players along the way. That's my weird random prediction. Watson to the Rams. I don't know where Goff goes. It doesn't seem like he's going to be there though.
Seems like a tough move, right? Like you got to move Goff. They have no assets left. They have no money left really because everybody's all full up with tons of money. I don't know how they do it. They went all in and it didn't work. But if they got Deshaun, I think that could be a good like starting point. But I think Deshaun wants to go somewhere where they're like ready to win. I don't think he wants to go. He'd go the Rams, but if they give up everybody, they're not going to win. So I'm going to say,
but if he draft picks,
bullshit, Jeremy.
Okay, bullshit. That's fair. I don't know how it's going to happen either. I'm just saying the Rams have been known to be very creative. I think it could happen. All right, my next one, Matthew Stafford. He's in the same boat. The Lions say that they're going to trade him because he went to the new management and said, trade me. And they're like, sure, we will. They already have the 7th pick in the draft, so they can take a quarterback. They might get a first rounder, maybe a second for Stafford. Bullshit or believe, is he gone and where's he going?
Oh, he's definitely gone. He already announced like they're parting ways, right? I 100% believe that.
Nice.
I don't know where all these quarterbacks go because it's just like a carousel, right? Like, oh, okay, you go over here and I'll go over here, but they all have to get traded. So that is interesting too because I kind of like the move, like trade me so you don't lose this asset, so you can actually trade me away and I'll maybe get something in return, at least something in return. I don't know if it's going to be good.
So you don't have a team yet. I have a team for Matthew Stafford, and it's a wild card. I'm getting bold on this show. I'm saying the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is a free agent.
Dak is out.
Wait a second. He's going to play for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Jerry makes a big trade, first-round pick for Matt Stafford.
Are you out on Dak?
Oh, I'm in on Dak. I've never been more in. He's going to have the comeback story of a lifetime. Disney movie when he comes back. Yeah. He's going to win a championship after he broke his leg. He's just not going to do it in Dallas because Jerry Jones has been fucking with them long enough.
I like that spot. I feel like Stafford's like a good fit there in Dallas. But he's kind of like on his last leg, right? Like, I don't know if this is the team for him because how many years does Stafford have left? Like 2, maybe?
He's not that old. He's our age. He's 31, 32.
I know, but a lot of guys are retiring early. Like only Tom Brady, like Drew Brees are playing until their 40s. I don't know if this is the move for him, but I'll go with it for now. I actually had another one. I wrote down, I had a bullshit or believe just on Matthew Stafford. I had a list of spots where he could go. I had the Colts, Texans, Eagles, and Panthers on my list.
Colts makes the most sense. Panthers, I think, will end up with a veteran quarterback, whether it's Watson, Stafford, Dak, or someone else. The Texans, I don't think it makes sense to have a big name. I think they should rebuild if they're going to go all in on draft picks for Deshaun. Just take one.
Yeah, just start over. All right.
The Colts do make a lot of sense. I have another one here. Ben Roethlisberger. Bullshit or believe he's on the Steelers next year, and if not, where's he going?
I'll say believe he is on the Steelers.
Wow.
I don't know if they could get at this point. You can't get rid of them, right? Like I feel like they're pretty tight over there. They want to keep everybody. This is a team, a family, whatever. We're together. I think maybe they go out and draft somebody or try to get somebody to back up. Obviously, the last 2 backup quarterbacks like Duck. What's the other guy? And,
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph. Like I don't know if they were ready for it, and now they can know. Like okay, let's go find some other guys.
Well, they signed Dwayne Haskins in the offseason, so that was the big thing already. They just signed him last week, which is a weird time to sign someone, but they did. So to me, it's an indication that Ben won't be on the Steelers next year. And then you say, where's he going to go? And then I say, he's not going to go anywhere because he's going to retire because Ben is done. And he's looking at Antonio Brown and he's looking at Le'Veon Bell and he's looking at his current Steelers team that is incapable of doing better than they did this year. And he's looking at Juju Smith-Schuster leaving as a free agent and no cap space available and James Conner leaving. And Ben's going to say, I give it up. And that's why he was crying when his ass got blown out by the Browns in the playoffs.
Do you think Dwayne Haskins is a viable guy to back up or even start? I don't think he's a real quarterback. I think what he's done, how are you going to get this guy to believe that he can be a starting quarterback?
I tend to agree with you. I don't think Haskins is the answer. I don't know what that signing was about. The Washington football team, they released him. They couldn't trade him for a 5th or a 6th round pick. They just got rid of him. Yeah. They clearly didn't want him and no team valued him for a trade. It doesn't do much.
Seems super. Maybe they're just like looking at him this summer, like hanging out, getting to know him a little. Maybe they can still cut him. I don't know what the deal was, but it seems kind of weird.
It does. My last quarterback on the list, and this was surprising. Okay. Listen, I'm surprised you haven't called me out on this in the first 20 minutes of the show, but I guaranteed the Packers and Aaron Rodgers would beat the Bucs. I guaranteed it. I did not think that the Packers offensive line would let Jason Pierre-Paul, a man without 10 fingers, a man who hasn't been relevant in years since he played in New York, to get around that right side so many damn times and hit Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was hit on his first 5 pass attempts of the game. They set the tone right away. I was wrong. Matt LaFleur made a terrible decision. We can talk about any of that you want. The angle I'm taking with this bullshitter belief, the comments that Aaron Rodgers made after the game about the future is uncertain. I don't know what's next for me. Very odd, very vague. That's kind of how Aaron Rodgers is. Bullshitter believe he comes back to the Packers, and if he doesn't come back, where does he go?
I'm going to say bullshit. I don't think he comes back. I think he was pissed. He was pissed at the draft last year, right? Or was that the year before when they drafted a quarterback? I don't think he comes back. He could go somewhere else. Now, obviously, they're a good team. They're doing everything right. But when it comes down to crunch time, it doesn't seem like they can do it now. So what else are they going to do?
But you say he's going to go somewhere else. The problem is it's not up to him. And the Packers are a great team. That's what's different about the Texans or some of the other teams trading their quarterbacks. They are a good team. They were heading to the Super Bowl until they got upset at home at Lambeau Field. Why would they trade Rodgers unless he requests it? And is he going to go all the way to that step and say, you took that rookie quarterback, you need to trade me?
Well, why not? I mean, if you could trade Rodgers, don't think you can get a first-round pick. So you could get something for him.
Oh, you can get multiple first-round picks, and teams would be lining up. And I think that's why Schefter says there's 18 teams looking for new quarterbacks, because we don't have that many, and he's one of them. I think a great landing spot, Mike, if it's possible at all, would be your San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh. The 49ers. I don't know how they pull it off, though, because all these quarterbacks with such high, like Garoppolo's getting $125 million. That's his contract.
I know. That's a problem. You're right. Like, there's too many big quarterback contracts out there. So how do teams move on from them? Do they start eating like crazy amounts of money to bring in a Rodgers or a Watson? Maybe, but Shanahan deserves a good quarterback, and Jimmy G ain't it.
I have a list of, there's a whole bunch of free agents, quarterbacks coming. So these are all guys that they could just scoop up. Dak Prescott, Andy Dalton, Cam Newton, Mitch covered in shit Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jacoby Brissett, Colt McCoy, and Nate Sudfeld. All available, all free agents. Listen, it's not the cream of the crop there, but these guys are available. And you could take like a Jameis on your team, and obviously I imagine the Saints are going to re-sign him, but this is kind of an interesting year because I don't think we've had this many quarterbacks available for teams to kind of pick from, like, oh yeah, this guy could work for me on this position right now.
I don't know how you added Nate Sudfeld on there, but the rest of them sounded interesting.
I just read the whole list. I copied it. I wrote it. Nate Sudfeld and Nate Sudfeld.
Listen, it's good for sports podcasts during the dog days of spring and summer without football. So it's going to keep us in business. We'll have all the quarterback talk all off season. So stick with us.
We did a good job this quarantine when we had no sports. We still did shows. So
yeah, we talked about life and lockdowns and things like that. Speaking of quarterbacks, can we transition into big dick energy?
Let's do it.
Big dick energy, winner of the week.
Listen, I was wrong. Tom Brady is swinging his big dick around Tampa Bay this week, next week, and for all the weeks because that guy played great. He outplayed Rodgers. He's going to the Super Bowl in his home city on a new team, a team that I didn't think was any good, that I didn't think they could make a playoff run. Tom Brady will now have started after next week. He will have started 19% of all the Super Bowls ever played, Mike. Like 2 out of 5 Super Bowls ever, Tom Brady's starting in the game. That's insane. Colin Cowherd had this amazing stat. He compared Brady from like 01 to 2010 and then Brady from 2011 to 2020. And you put both of them next to each other, and he might be the first and second best quarterbacks of all time just on those 2 10-year runs, and he has them all. It's insane. The guy is amazing. We thought he was done, and he is making Belichick look bad now in all of this because Belichick was struggling without him. Congratulations to Brady.
I love it so much. Now, we all know it's the first time a team has ever played on the home field in like the hosting city of the Super Bowl, so that's a big one. It's like what he done probably can't ever be done again in the same way just because of what's happened. Like football has obviously changed a lot in the last 20 years, but this is insane that he's still going and still performing that well on a brand new team, playing against a team that, Aaron Rodgers has been there how many years now with that team? 8 years, something like that.
Longer,
Can't even Aaron Rodgers with a team that he knows he can't beat a Tom Brady on a brand new team where maybe you're still working stuff out. I give it to Tom Brady. I think he's figured it out. He understands the game and he knows. I think he'll be a great coach too, because I think he's figured out how to call the right plays at the right time.
So rich. That's one thing he won't do as coach. Once he's done playing, because he's playing to the age where guys are like almost done in their like professional jobs. Like they want to be done. He's 43. He's going to play again. He'll be 44. He'll probably play again, 45. I think when he's done playing, he's done. But give the guy credit for what he's done.
I give him credit. I think it's great. I think it's what he did is staying. I know people hate watching Tom Brady in the Super Bowl every year, but I love it. I mean, we can talk about our pick too. I'm lucky to survive because I went all in on the Bills. Did not pay off for me.
That didn't work out. I thought the Bills would play better in that Chiefs-Bills game. They got out to the good start like normal. They're up 10-0, I think, or 9-0, and then it just all fell apart, and the Chiefs came back. Josh Allen didn't look good in the second half, and that's okay. The guy's still learning. He's not Pat Mahomes yet.
Not yet. I thought the game, I was very excited. I'm like, we got this. Like Patrick Mahomes coming off a concussion, no big deal. Went the other way. I did not believe Tampa could beat Green Bay. And I was worried. I was worried going to have to pay up, my Bitcoin to you.
Yeah. Well, the price of Bitcoin's going down. So maybe it won't be as expensive. So to recap that, I have the Chiefs left in our pool. You have the Bucks. And this is what we want. Come to Super Bowl time. We want it one-on-one. You don't want one guy already winning unless that guy was me. So I think it's good that we are tied going in.
Did we swap Brady for Mahomes one year? Is that what we did?
We did. That was I think that was 2 years ago, and then Brady won it. And then I kept Mahomes last year, and he won, so I'm rolling with Mahomes again. And you have Brady. It's always Mahomes Brady, right? Like that's what.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just thinking about that when he won. I'm like, what? Didn't we already see this? And I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good.
Now you grew up in Tampa, but you're hardly a Bucks fan at this point.
No, it's weird that listen. You can bandwagon. I'm excited. I'm gonna bust out my jersey. I'm gonna support the Bucks on Super Bowl, even though I'm not gonna have a party. Nothing's open here. Can't go out and watch anywhere. I'm gonna support it. Tampa's gonna support it. That was that stat that Tampa has been. All 3 teams in Tampa have been to their championship game since Tom Brady signed in Tampa. So maybe Tom Brady's bringing that mojo over of winning. The Lightning won the Stanley Cup. The Rays went to the World Series, and now the Bucks are going to the Super Bowl. This is absolutely insane for Tampa. This is not a sports town. I grew up in Tampa. It's not a sports town. I would not call Tampa like a hardcore sports town. I'd say a lot of New Yorkers come down. You see other teams represented. It's not a team with passion for their local sports at all.
You know what it is? It's a town thriving during COVID-19. Florida is wide open. Folks are going to bars and restaurants, living their normal lives. And ever since this thing started, the Tampa teams are the ones stepping up, because you're right. The Lightning won, of course, the finals. Yep. And then you had the Rays in the World Series against the Dodgers. Your Dodgers in your backyard at Chavez Ravine beat them. And then we have the Bucks here. Now, you know what that means? We need to bet hard on the Raptors to win the Eastern Conference, because they're playing in Tampa too. And they're a good team. It's possible.
Okay. Hey, that's a good bet. My Bills bet did not pay off. I'm gonna go with the Bucks here. I mean, I'm betting on them. I love it. I think this is great. The win in your hometown, definitely an advantage. I feel like they don't have to travel anywhere. They're just there. They're
less than normal with limited fans at the Super Bowl. And like, it's great. They're bringing in nurses and first responders and those that have had the vaccine. So it's like not going to be like all Bucks fans, like maybe normally it would be. Yeah. I'll take Mahomes and the Chiefs all day. The Bucks defense cannot repeat that performance. They played out of their ass. Like, think about the 2 games prior to the Packers that led me to take the Packers. The Bucks barely beat Drew Brees, and he had like that list of injuries I rattled off last week, like including torn rotator cuff. And then they barely beat the Washington football team, who had a losing record, and their quarterback was Tyler Heineke. So I don't think the Bucks are that good. They just played a hell of a game when it mattered the most, and you got to give them credit for it.
Tom Brady does it. That's what he does. He pumps them up. He's ready to go. That's all I got, Jeremy. Nothing else. We'll be back next week. Super Bowl week. I'm going to have a ton of props that we can bet for the Super Bowl. You're going to be alone, so it's going to be, I mean, maybe not you in Florida, but I'm going to be alone just gambling virtually.
I'll be in Florida. I'm heading over toward Tampa, not all the way, but I'll do a little exclusive access down that direction. Okay. I think I can tell some stories of last time the Super Bowl was in Tampa. Me and our mutual friend ran into some celebrities down there, so I can tell those stories.
Yeah, tell some good old stories. Okay, I like that. Follow us on the sportshangover.com. Go over to Instagram, follow us there at the Sports Hangover Podcast. And if we don't get wrestling list reviews, hopefully we are back next week.